still can't believe we get paid to do this. I mean, it's an awesome job to be out there. We both have a heart to serve. He and I both are very faith-based, so we get to go out there and fellowship with people. We get to love on people, and it's reciprocated. We get it. It's a two-way street.
Welcome back to another episode of MidloConnect. I'm Audra Fowler with Rose Gold Realty Team.
And I'm Justin Adbury with Guild Mortgage. You are in for a treat today. But before we get started, make sure you take care of your traffic citations, parking tickets, and definitely any outstanding warrants.
Because we are here with the man, the myth, the legend, Captain America.
Let's get to know Officer Douglas.
I am Christopher Douglas, work with the Midlothian Police Department, obviously, in our CAT unit. And what led me to law enforcement? Probably my family. I come from a large family that are military turned law enforcement. So right after high school, I joined the Air Force, literally 2 weeks after 9/11, and served a few years there. And the transition out of the military, especially doing military police, just kind of went hand in hand. Still had a heart to serve, wanted to do more. Transferred here to Midlothian, actually 5 years last month. So I've been an officer now for 20 years, this past July, which doesn't really seem like it, but I love it. I'm a Master Peace Officer, which is the highest certification you can have for law enforcement. I'm a TCO instructor, teach some classes here. Primarily, I've always done defensive tactics, ground fighting, shooting type stuff, vehicle CQB, in-house CQB, which stands for close quarter battle. So just teaching officers how to be tactical, be safe, but also keeping others safe. So it's the flip side of the coin people don't think about, but not just us, but people that we deal with. We've lived here for 8 years now. My wife is actually one of the nurses at Heritage, but Air Force gave me guidance, gave me a lot of clarity, gave me focus, something to do. I wasn't sure what I was going to do after high school, to be honest. And then, of course, 9/11 happened, and just instantly I knew what I wanted to do. So what led me to Midlothian Police Department? I was getting a little burnt out. Usually officers reach that point around anywhere between 5, 6, 7 year mark, but I think I was closer to about 13 years. So I held off for quite some time, but I was at that point finally, and it just, with everything that was going on in the world, social media, and just our society changing as a whole, it was a never-ending losing battle. So I started to reevaluate some things in our life. Talked to my wife, we were praying about it, and I was at the point I was actually just done with law enforcement. I was probably half a step away. And finally, after much conversation, much prayer, my wife said, "Why don't you apply with Midlothian?" We were already living here at the time. So I thought about it, finally said, okay, I'll give this a shot and see if it works out. And it went, just a seamless transition. It went so fast. One thing I'll never forget this day, I was actually in uniform, but in my old uniform from my old department, and I was going home, and I had to stop at the store briefly, and I had these kids come up and just out of the blue and give me a hug. And it just threw me way off. Unfortunately, you don't get that. A lot of the support and appreciation and backing and love, that we receive from this community, we just don't see in other areas. Midlothian is very, very unique, and I tell people this all the time. We're like a unicorn. So CAT, a lot of people ask, because they see the cars. You can't miss the cars, super fancy. A lot of kids refer to them as the police race cars. And CAT stands for, first of all, it's CATT, Community Action Through Teamwork. So my partner, Scott Hughes, and I, we're the CAT guys, and we primarily do crime prevention. So with that, we try and put out different crime prevention tips and strategies to kind of keep you and your family safe, your home, your business, things of that nature. But we are also the community outreach officers, and we by far do more community outreach than anything. So we go around and we're able to create, build, and strengthen relationships within our community, from our businesses, our schools, our churches. We're part of the Ministry Alliance, our nonprofits and charities. So we work very closely with Manor House and a few others on two of our biggest events that we do in the year. is our Citizens Police Academy. So we do that twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. We just had a graduation a couple of weeks ago. So they get to learn the whole hiring process, down to the firing process and everything in between. They get to learn how to do building searches with our SWAT team, how to do traffic stops. Our DA comes and speaks to them, so they learn about the whole court process and everything of that nature. They learn about us and CAT. They just learn about police life in general. So it gives that kind of peek behind the curtain and humanizes us. That's what we like. So we get that a lot with every class. My partner and I also organize the National Night Out event. So National Night Out is the first Tuesday in October nationwide, but we also do, about 2 weeks prior to that, we do a kickoff event, which we hold at the community park, and we work very closely with a lot of local businesses, but we also reach out a little bit beyond our borders, such as In-N-Out. In-N-Out comes almost every year, and they will donate between 700 and 800 hamburgers for free. Anything we need, people around here help out a lot. Our businesses help out a lot because they love this community as much as we do. So they want to see it thrive and flourish. Even with all the growth that we're experiencing, they want to see us keep that Midlothian mentality, that small town feel. And so now we're able to, here and there throughout the year, on the clock, if you will, as part of the department in certain circumstances, dress up as these heroes and go out and do what we're already doing anyway in this uniform, and that's just, spreading some positivity and doing something good, and the kids love it. I think the adults love it just as much as the kids. So, especially when they see the cars or the truck and everything like that. So it just goes hand in hand. So I love it. It's such a blessing. Another person in the city that loves to be as active in the community as we do is Melissa Shook with our Chamber of Commerce. So Melissa reached out to me not long ago and asked, "Hey, buddy, old pal of mine, would you like to team up with me and do the Ellis County Dancing with the Stars?" What? No idea what you're talking about. So she told me what it was for, and that it benefits TBHC, the Texas Baptist Housing for Children, which deals with foster care and adoptions, which they just celebrated their 500th adoption, and she and I got to go to that ceremony. So that was a tearjerker. That was wonderful. She called me, and I was actually out shopping with my wife, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" She's like, "Heck yeah." So I was like, "All right, I'm in." So now we are dancing to represent Midlothian against the other cities in Ellis County for the Ellis County Dancing with the Stars. So she came up because I do the Captain America. She said, "Hey, what if I dress up as Captain Marvel and we can be the MidloMarvels?" That's phenomenal, because we had to come up with a name, our costume, and some type of theme. So it just went hand in hand. She's like, "You're already doing that." So we are the MidloMarvels.
Our law enforcement has a bad rap in today's society, and getting to know Officer Douglas really humanized the Midlothian police force.
I agree. Officer Douglas is a humble leader and is truly invested in our community. He is the epitome of what Midlothian stands for and what we hope for in a police force.
Thank you so much for joining us this week on MidloConnect as we kick off 2024. I'm Justin Atterbury with Guild Mortgage.
I'm Audra Fowler with Rose Gold Realty Team. We'll see you next week.
And definitely take care of any outstanding warrants.
Because we're here with
The man, the myth,
the legend.